Right, this is a video for a Honda Accord. This is a 2.4 EX automatic tourer, estate version. Car's registered LC58HDV, and the mileage at the start of this brief road test is 114,857 miles. The reason we do the road tests is basically because we're now selling to customers all over the near continent and all over the UK. We just want you to see the car in operation prior to coming to see us, hopefully just to give you the confidence to come and see the vehicle, and it's done on exactly the same roads as you'll road test the vehicle yourself. Just obviously, if you've seen the advert, you know the car benefits from a superb service history. Also worth pointing out prior to this road test really is the fact that it's going to be horribly biased. I maintain that this side of a NSX, or the kind of the sportier ones, the Type Rs, this is the very best Honda made. Combination of engine and gearbox and chassis is absolutely fantastic. I love these cars, but more of that in due course. Just going through the mechanicals of the car. Engine, obviously 2.4, is bordering on 190 horsepower. Fantastic unit. In this particular example is exactly what I'd hope to see and feel. Pulls like an absolute train, utterly smooth. You just don't get any sense of vibration coming back through the engine. Even though it's a 4-cylinder, it feels much more akin to a 6-cylinder engine. The engine, it idles perfectly, pulls its rev range perfectly. There's no warning lights on the dashboard relating to the engine or anything else. I can't fault it. Engine then drives through the automatic gearbox. Gear changes are lovely and smooth, really well judged. Typical Honda gearbox. It's a brilliant unit. I'll come back to engine gearbox in a sec, other than to say that it drives fantastically. Car tracks bullet straight. Steering is incredibly precise. I can't detect any wear in it. I'm going to be honest with you. If I can, I'll tell you. But realistically, when I'm turning, when I'm going over the bumps, I'm listening out or feeling for kind of things where you might have like a track rod end with a bit of wear in it or a bit of wear in the suspension. But there is nothing at all. Likewise, the suspension of the car goes about its business absolutely perfectly. Very smooth riding, but with a kind of errs on the side of sporty, which I personally love, and I think in the long term it's a much more comfortable setup. But again, as with the suspension, the steering rather, I genuinely can't feel any wear in it at all. And again, the things you'll be looking out for will be things like kind of anti-roll bars and suspension mounts chattering away after you've gone over a bump. You can hear it going over a bump, but there's no resonance, there's no aftershocks or anything like that. It rides absolutely superbly, and it feels as tight as a drum. I'm just going to give the brakes a bit of a jab in a second once I get up to speed. So bear with me 1 second. That's a lovely solid brake pedal. No pulsing, no rumbling from the brake pedal at all. Really fine order. Again, as I'm driving at speed, I'm just listening out for kind of wind noises that shouldn't be there, but there's nothing of any note whatsoever. It's a very quiet, very subdued place to sit and drive. I mean, they are beautifully made cars, which is why they take their mileages so incredibly well. And that's also obviously it's a huge specification. For your money, you get so much car. But the engine is fantastic. Just going to try the cruise control out. Worth pointing out, this car benefits from auto cruise control, and so it's got the radar in front. So if I'm setting it now at 55 miles an hour and a car happens to be in front, it will slow me down and then speed me up rather than you having to do it yourself. So a really lovely system. You've also got sort of lane mitigation, all that kind of stuff. Lane control, departure, whatever they call it, but just check that works perfectly as it does. Inside the car, all in really lovely order. Obviously, huge specification car, so you've got this lovely, big, dominating sat-nav system mounted up lovely and high. Works absolutely perfectly. It's got a rear parking camera. Again, that works perfectly, but clearly I can't demonstrate it. whilst I'm driving along here, but I'll do in a later video. Coming down, nice, dead simple, easy to use radio stereo with multi-changer. Again, all the buttons all work, perfect working order, no paint peeled off or any paint marks on the car, which is what you tend to see on the German vehicles. Down here, dual zone climate control, pumping out ice cold air, absolutely spot on. Heated seats, not that I'm going to need them today, thank goodness, and they all work absolutely perfectly. It's just what's hard to point out, giving the impression on the video, is just how beautifully engineered this car is. It's got every single button has that lovely quality of control, the dampness, you know, the way the switches just click click, but without the flimsiness you get in some cars. And as I said, you know, in the real world driving, I honestly just don't care what the motoring press say. You know, they all big up the 3 Series BMWs and Audi A4s and you know, the Passat has been, you know, beautifully built. Well, they are for 3 years or 4 years or 5 years, and then you jump into one this age, this mileage, and you see what it's like by comparison. And you'll find that a lot of the switches will have lost the paint on them. Certainly all the window switches. You know, they are, you know, they have a feeling of solidity rather than an actual in reality, because I'm sorry, they don't drive like this. You haven't got the Volkswagen don't make engines anything like as good as this engine. It's a brilliant unit. You know, in a world of low revving turbos, you know, with all the, you know, the associated problems with them, to jump in a normally aspirated engine like this with guts and power and a soundtrack to go with it, through a silky smooth box without any stupid DSG stuff with the horrendous repair bills that go with them. You know, it's a real, it's just a lovely unit. It really is. But as I said, you know, that's why I've got such a soft spot for these cars. They've got it just all works. So that's the parking sensors, by the way, bleeping. At least it shows they work. But no, it's, you know, the reason I love these cars is the fact that it pretty much all comes together. You've got a beautifully built car with huge specification, and all the stuff works, which you'd expect on any Honda. But on top of that, you've got a chassis which has got, it's got electric power steering, but it's incredibly precise and beautifully weighted. You've got a chassis which balances ride comfort with, you know, an agility and precision, especially at high speed, which is absolutely astonishing. On top of which, you've got this, you know, this fantastic VTEC engine which sort of snarls its way around to sort of 7,000 plus RPM through a smooth automatic gearbox, and you've got pretty much the perfect package, you know, for a price that you're buying into your troublesome German product, which is the only real competitor. There's no Japanese competitor to this car. You know, I think it's Honda's unsung hero. I truly love them. If you look at all my other videos for 2.4 Auto Accords, you'll know exactly what I think about them. And the whole point of this video is to show you this car in operation, not to sort of go on about sort of 2.4 Accords necessarily, but as an example of one, I genuinely can't fault it. And if I could, I would, and I do. You know, I can't find anything on it that would concern anybody. But the last thing I'm going to do, because it's a pet hate of mine, is the wipers, see if they smear at all. Yeah, there we are. I think I've got my first, well, it's not a problem. I think this driver's side wiper blade could do with changing, which we'll do. So there you are. I found something wrong with it, but no, fantastic car.